guys, welcome to another in-box review, should I say, of another kit. In this case, it is Tamiya's 1/35 scale Tiger 1 early production. This kit was very kindly sent out to me by Fraser vonketteringham. I will be putting a link to his channel in the description of this video. Please do give his channel, please check out his channel. He's a very talented painter and model maker and wargamer, so well worth checking out his channel. So I want to say a big thank you to him for sending out this kit. Your generosity was very humbling, my friend. I really hope when I start this kit soon that I can do a full justice for you. So this kit, again, as you can see, is a Tiger. So this is a second Tiger I reviewed on my channel. The AFP Club late production E is already getting a good few views, so it's going to be quite popular. So I thought I'd review this kit. So this is the early production. I built one of these many years ago, when I was a wee lad, as Andy would say, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm really looking forward to building this kit 10-15 years on with the model making experience I've accumulated since. So this kit came out in '97. No photo etches included in this kit. This is one of the many Tamiya kits that you have to buy all that shite separately, which I really disagree with, but the photo etch itself is not expensive. You want to buy their stainless steel engine. So we'll have a look in the box. So I'm just going to take the liberty on bagging everything, and I'll talk you through it. So as always, I always like to get the instructions out of the way. So we have our standard Tamiya style leaflet or booklet style instruction manual with a nice photograph of the build-up model on the front cover. A little bit of history, a bit of technical spiel. Always nice to have. Most of you are very well aware of the Tamiya instructions, as they're incredibly clear. I find their instructions to be some of the finest on the market, and if every company tries to put the same level of clarity and detail into their instructions, we will never go wrong. So you're also going to be, your attention will also be drawn to this little booklet, little table here. So this tells you if you wanted to build a specific vehicle, such as tank number 213 from Heavy Panzer Battalion 502, and it gives you basically, did it have the late manslate, did it have SMI launchers, loader scope, and the different types. So keep this in mind if you're trying to build a particular vehicle. I believe 131 is, yeah, 131 is here as well. And this is just to keep an eye on the various different types that you want to build a particular vehicle, which is a very nice little system. So keep referring to it, and so you know which number or which letter you're meant to be building. Okay. So how many steps are in this model build? Shouldn't be too many. So there's 20 steps. However, many of the steps here are very they're not busy, so it's not the most intensive of builds. So I believe most model makers will easily be able to build this. Okay, then we have our separate marking callout and painting guide, which is quite busy. So we get many vehicles here. We get one from Russia 44, which I'm a bit surprised to be a vehicle an early in production that long, but okay. 43, they're all Tunisia. This is 131. Just so you know, if you wanted to build 131 out of the box, out of this, you're going to do a bit of modification. Many of the parts that makes 131 and 131 aren't actually included in this. However, Dragon have already released one that's meant to be the definitive 131. Then we have a few Kursk vehicles, I believe. That looks like a Kursk wagon. I also believe you don't have to do any, which I'm pretty happy about, you don't actually have to do any simmers on this wagon either if you don't really want to, which is nice. So a very busy and fast marking callout, which I'm really happy about. So you have lots of options here, lads. And the one or two ladies actually watching my channel. And then we have our marking sheet. Now this was left as is in the box, and sometimes Tamiya does this, they don't throw it into a bag. So this is, I'm always a bit dubious with their decals. I know a lot of model makers in the community really dislike their decals. I am always a bit wary of them because they can go either way on you. So you need to be kind of gentle with Tamiya decals. They are fragile. However, though, as you can see, you get a lot of marking options in this. There's also very interesting kill rings, or basically kill marks for the barrel, which is really cool. Also, I was curious about these Japanese markings here. Is this actually a real Panzer Battalion's markings, I wonder, or is this some Japanese market thing? I'm not entirely sure. So, Adam or some of the other Tiger enthusiasts, is that actually a real marking? Is it a Japanese marking? I've seen on a few model builds in the past, and I've always been curious about it. Then we have the one from First SS, the key. So yeah, again, very nice. So we'll have a look at the parts now. We'll keep this moving. Shouldn't be too long. Okay, so as always, I always like to have a look at the lower hull tub. So again, one piece, quite reminiscent to AFV Club's detailing. Some of the smaller axis panels are very nasty. I think this is the punch release from mold. Again, unless you're going to flip this vehicle on its side, you ain't going to see any of this, so it doesn't really matter. Our bump stops, thank you for telling me what they were, Adam. I believe this panel here is for knocking the pins back into the tracks, if I remember correctly. So again, nice detail. No weld detail on the bottom half, but again, I'm not really too concerned about that. No weld details either for the hull extensions, if these what these are. Again, you can add them in if you so wish. It's a very basic model making skill, and no harm in trying it. Again, plastic is quite nice, quite sturdy actually. I don't remember it being this sturdy, and I'm not seeing any flashing or anything like that on it, so that's nice. Then we get this little piece of hosing, little pipe. This is for the FIFO filters. I'm kind of concerned to see how this is going to work. I don't know how effective their way of doing the filter hosings are going to be. However, I can see just getting sharp scissors and cutting them to shape should be fine. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that is. But again, the nice texturing on it, and in a way it gives you a bit more play than the plastic ones. So if they don't align correctly, at least they're a bit malleable, that you can bend them to shape to actually get them to conform. So not too concerned about that. Then we have our lovely final tracks that I love so much. So solid guide horn detail. They should be hollow. Again, I conferred with Adam on that, so they're meant to be hollow. However, I'm going to be probably buying aftermarkets for these because I can't stand vinyl, and these are the ones that super glue. You'd have to either melt them or super glue them together. However, you probably could make them work if you really wanted to. Like, you know, like if 7-year-old me or 10-year-old me could make these work, then there's no reason why you can't. However, I'm not going to be using them. Like, they're pretty okay considering their age, like, but vinyl tracks aren't for me. Okay, moving on to the first set of proper sprues. There actually aren't that many sprues in this kit, which is nice. There's not a massive part count, and many of them are doubles. So we get 2 of B sprue, and these are all our running gear. So I'm just going to remove one of them, and we'll have a look. We have many roll wheels. Again, since this is one of the early variants of the Tiger, there's all the rubber rims. They're going to be fun to paint, but again, you can get masks for them if you so wish. We have 2 versions of dry sprocket. We have the initial or late production style exhaust cover, if I remember that correctly. And then we have the bigger shroud too on another sprue that's more synonymous with the earlier productions of Tiger, if I remember correctly. We have our travel lock, and again the detail is quite crisp considering this kit's 14 years old. It's very nice. We get some periscope detail here. I'm not seeing any flashing, which is quite nice. And also what I really like is if you note on the inner sides of many of the road wheels, there's numbering. So this will help you align the tracks or the roll wheels correctly. These are all going to be on the inner faces, so you're not going to see any of these. That is a nice little bit of attentiveness that makes me kind of like Tamiya. Even it allows me to put up with their bullshit, basically. I'm not the biggest of fanboys when it comes to Tamiya, unfortunately, but I do enjoy their kits though. So this for other little bits and pieces. A skate patch. Looks a bit weirdly shaped, almost elliptical. I don't think it's meant to be that shape, but oh well. So that's the first sprue. So continuing on, we'll look at, I believe, F sprue. We see more of our detail for the FIFO filters in 2 parts. Again, detail is very nice, very crisp, no flash, no sink marks. And bear in mind, this kit's 12, 14 years old. Our toe cables are actually more nicely rendered than the AFE ones. So there's a nice sharpness in mold, I have to say. As for accuracy, well, it looks like a tiger, so it's good enough for me. And I believe a lot of the guys are saying this isn't the half-bag kit. It's not up to scratch with Dragon, of course, but it's still a nice alternative if you're looking for a relatively cheap tiger to work on. So we'll move on. Again, there's not many sprues in this kit, so it's nice and quick to go through. So we'll move on to this sprue. Now we're moving up to the more upper hull. So I'll draw your attention to these lugs here. These are the jig for doing the torsion bars, I believe, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of cool, a cool little addition. I'm most kind of shitty at doing like movable torsion bars, trying to get from the line up, especially if you're not doing it in a dynamic base. Okay, now I'm seeing a little bit of flash now here. So the mud fenders will need a quick couple of passes of a sanding stick. You can kind of see the flash there just running along the leading edge. Toe cables are fine. Again, there's not a big heavy seam going around the braids of the cabling, which I'm happy to see. 2-part barrel. These aren't hard to salvage. However, it's the muzzle brakes that makes it difficult trying to fill the muzzle brake seam, because you're trying to keep that detail. So, but bear in mind, like RB models do plenty of turned metal barrels that are very cheap and not hard to come by. So there's plenty of options. We have our iconic bin for the turret. Again, nice detail. I am seeing tiny bits of flash, mostly on this and a little bit on the jack. But other than that, everything else seems fine. Yeah, nice again. 1-piece mud fenders. However, if you just take a Dremel to the inside of these and then cut them individually, you can kind of bend them and distort them and tin them to scale. So it's not a difficult thing. And when I do the build video on this, I'll do a full kind of build video and technique guide on how I would deal with a kit like this. Kind of aim for like people with intermediate skills. And I'll show that how I deal with making these look a bit better. So again, pretty nice. Again, it's your standard tiger. You know, a lot of these parts are very self-explanatory, like. And then our last sprue, which is the largest sprue out of the lot of us, which is sprue E, and this has all our upper deck details and turret details. So the turret's in 2 parts. This can be problematic. How AFE Club did their turret, which was also in 2 halves, but they did it in 3 parts. They had the turret ring in 1 piece, so you don't have to fill a seam at the bottom of the turret. That's going to be a little bit tricky. However, because of the large turret bin on the rear of the turret, it will make cleaning and hiding that seam line much easier. However, it's not too difficult to fill them. Just takes a little bit of time and a bit of patience. We get 2 types of gun mantlet, and the instructions will tell us which version to use. Slight differences in them, but again, you tiger heads will know more about it than I. Moving on to the actual top deck of the vehicle, we have a separate engine cover, because you can buy Tamiya do a very basic, well, I call it almost 2D type of engine that sits down inside this with a little maintenance crew. I might actually pick up and throw into the build. and so we have like a movable hatch there, so you can have that model to open and show off the engine. Nice little addition, I have to say. Here's our turret roof with the loader's hatch and commander's cupola mounts. Little well beads already in place for the smoke dischargers. Our large style engine covers or engine shrouds for the exhausts. And then we have another choice here of rear mud fender. We also get the standard Tamiya crewman. And again, it's not bad detail on them. Not the best figure I've ever seen. I'm not a big fan of Tamiya figures, to be honest. They still have a lot to be desired. We have our front panel here with our MG mount. The two locking lugs for the dust cover, or the actually bleeds a waterproofing mount for wading. They are very, very soft. If you painted them, you'll actually you wouldn't hardly see them. Adam draws attention to it, and he's refused as well. Then we have our upper panel here, nice detail. Again, everything's very sharp. I'm not seeing any flashing. So far only one part had flashing, and the commander has a bit of flashing too. But that's not really a problem if you're not intending to use the commander. So in all, it's a very nice kit. It's not much parts in it. It's a pretty well engineered kit. And it's pretty nice, I have to say. It's